The path that leads to the truth is littered with the bodies of the ignorant. Miyamoto Musashi, my favorite samurai. Again, a man who never lost a duel, who was an artist, a warrior, a poet, a deep thinker. Take that to heart. The path that leads to truth is littered with the bodies of the ignorant. Don't be ignorant. Seek the truth. We seek the truth in these markets by doing what? Following price movement. And we had some interesting movement today. We ended the day on the S&P. It's crazy this afternoon. You saw where things were ticking along well, going up in the morning, even reached a little higher in the afternoon, but lots of erratic up and down. We ended the day down 0.64%. So again, we are in a little bit of negative territory. We'll see how things, again, continue to move forward. We see the STC heading up, red spinning top at the end of the day, showing some indecision. We look at where we are on the 2-day candle. And of course, we see as far as this 2-day candle goes, we have a green up candle reaching a little bit higher high. We pushed above the 200 EMA on the 2-day chart, and we are green on the STC, so that's looking good. We look on the weekly chart. It's, again, indecision this week, but reaching a higher high, a little bit bigger of a green spinning top, but not one of these beautiful, strong green up candles like we've seen before. So again, as we said, we have a positive 15 on the success multiplier formula. There's some risk here, but again, we jumped into this and are hoping things will go our way. If they don't, we'll just clear out, take the minimum loss, and move on. Remember, with a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio, if you reduce the size of your trade based upon the volatility, and that is following the always winning formula. Why don't I put it at the end of today's video so you understand what I'm talking about there and you see the simple math. You only have to win 4 out of 10 times in order to move forward with a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio where you reduce position size based upon the risk you're taking. That makes total sense when you understand it. Those of you who've taken that training before, you know what I'm talking about, and I know you are applying it in your practice trades and you're seeing great success. Keep moving forward, my friends. Use all of what we teach you here each day with the 5 ETFs that we track to be able to apply to all of your favorite stocks and ETFs in your practice trades. Remember, we're not a stock calling service. We're an education firm. Now, we weren't excited about the NASDAQ 100 for several reasons. We did not pull the trigger when it went from red to green on this one. Why? Well, we had some trepidations in that. What were the trepidations? Well, I'll show you. We were down for the day 0.74%. We talked about this yesterday, how far below the 200 EMA we are here, even though we're in the green. We've been in the green for quite a while on this 2-day chart, and on the weekly also. We can see where, again, we've got a spinning top. We are moving up in the green. Again, did reach a little bit higher of a high, but because of all the volatility and the weakness of that 2-day chart, we didn't pull the trigger on the NASDAQ 100. Now, again, didn't discourage you from giving that a shot, but just giving you the warning as to the issues that we had of that weakness in our intermediate chart. Didn't have that on the S&P 500. Doesn't mean you can't trade it if that's what you want to practice trade, but we didn't like all the weakness that we saw there. Now, let's look at where we are on 20-year bonds. We showed you how we set up this practice trade yesterday. Not super excited about it either. We did it just so you could see a practice trade and how we set it up. We talked about that yesterday. Again, up for the day. It was the only thing up besides about the same up on Bitcoin. But as we look at this, when we see we're well into the red already, we talked about that maybe being the issue. We've also gone from green to red on the STC immediately. And of course, that would have taken us out of that trade in the morning with a bit of a loss. Now, we talked about why we didn't like this trade. Well below the 200 EMA on this chart, on the intermediate chart. Again, not reaching a higher high yet, and we looked at where we are on the weekly. Weekly was also slowing down in its up movement, but the same, well below the 200 EMA, still in that negative territory. Didn't feel good about it, didn't pull the trigger on it. And I said that if you did pay close attention and see where it goes, I hope you're learning a lesson from that. It immediately went into the red. I'm always concerned about weakness when we're already in a down move, particularly in those larger charts when we are below the 200 EMAs. Now let's look at gold. Gold down a little bit for the day, 0.24%. We'll start off with the half-day chart. Let me open this up a little bit for us. Again, moving in the right direction at the beginning of the day, and then again, this crazy volatility. We're in the red, but again, we haven't hit. We look at our candlestick here, and we're not down. Knocking us out of the trade yet. We're still green on the STC and moving up, down just a little bit at the end of the day, 0.24%, so just at 0.25%. Now, what do we have going for us? Well, we are well above the 200 EMA, as you can see here on the half-day chart. Two-day chart in the green, above the 200 EMA, hitting recent higher highs on this latest two-day candle, moving up nicely. We look at where we are on the weekly. Weekly, likewise, is above the 200 EMA. You can see it there at the bottom. Nice green candle, moving up high. I mean, it's the nicest chart that we have right now, much nicer than that S&P 500 trade on SPY. So again, it looks pretty. Is the half-day chart going to go along with us? We'll wait, we'll watch, we'll see. We see how gold has gone up in stutters, moves up and then down, moves up and then down, moves up and then down. And we'll see, but you're getting sort of these one-candle fluxes on this one, and you had it on this one where they really popped up and then just sort of leveled off quick. So we'll see. It may work, it may not, but again, as we continue to watch where things are, we do have a positive 15 on the success multiplier formula. That means that all of our charts are positive on the STC, and they're also positive and above the 200 EMA. So things are again looking all right for gold. We'll see how that pans out. What do we see with Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin, again, trying to recover from where it was. It's up to 1789. Again, after this real slam down, it sort of bottomed out here and is trying to move up. Has a ways to go before it clears the 200 EMA, before we'd think about jumping in. But we have other issues with Bitcoin too. We are still well below things. And in fact, let's look at 24-hour Bitcoin, because in this short chart, when I say short chart, in the ETF chart, that is the VanEck ETF Trust Series, that is a short-term closed month future of Bitcoin. This is the 24-hour-a-day Bitcoin. You can see on the two-day chart how far below the 200 EMA we are. We are in the green here, and we've seen some steady ticking up. We look at where we are on the weekly. Weekly, again, this is the second week of some up movement. We've seen 4 weeks and a drop. We've seen 2 weeks and a drop again. So again, we're not putting a lot of faith into Bitcoin. We, of course, did not reset our STC. In other words, when it went red, it didn't go below these two center bands where we like to see things move down below those to reset so that we might jump into an up move. And of course, we've just got a lot of negativity, all of our charts. Now, on this half-day chart, on 24-hour Bitcoin, we are not below the 200 EMA. We were sticking with it for a while, and then we've popped above it. But again, when we look at those big charts, and of course, when we go over to, there we go, our chart, when it comes to the future chart, we can see that we are still well below the 200 EMA. So all this means is Bitcoin's got to recover a lot. It's got to make a lot of positive up movements before we're going to jump in anything that is going to put any of our practice trades at risk. That is where we are, folks, as we end the day. We so appreciate you being with us. You have questions, problems, concerns, We love to hear from you. cw@chartingwealth.com. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.